Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Tom. Today I'm going to be going over the challenge solution walkthrough for uh, Shady Oaks 001 on BugForge. Um, this is a pretty straightforward lab, but I think it highlights a vulnerability that is uh, easy to overlook or easy to forget to check. It's an unprotected admin functionality vulnerability. So I've already gone ahead and gotten an account registered and gotten logged in. So once you're logged in, you get to the main page of the application. And if you go through the application, you'll find that there's not really a whole lot that you can really exploit on this app. But if you do some content discovery, you'll find some administrative endpoints that are unprotected and are accessible by a low privileged user. So, to start off with, let me come over here to my proxy and I'll show. Um, so, if you look at the auth token that we're using, we have the role here of user. So, we should not have uh, access that's not what I meant to do at all. We should not have access to administrative endpoints. So I'm going to send this request to my automate and then come back here and I want to show you something. So I am not using uh, Burp Suite for this. I know the professional version of Burp Suite has a content discover functionality, and uh, it's a really powerful functionality. Um, but it's only available in the professional edition. The community edition doesn't have that capability, and Kaido doesn't have a built-in uh, content discovery function yet. I think it's something that they're working towards, but there's also command line tools like ffuff, Pharaoh Buster, Go Buster, things like that, that you can give a word list to, and it will go through and make requests uh, to the target host with uh, each line of the word list in the path. So, and it looks at the response code to figure out what is accessible, what's not accessible, and so on. Um, I did it a little bit differently, and I'll show you the way that I did it. I'm using a bookmarklet that you have probably seen something like this floating around the community. This particular one I got from Jason Haddock's on his GitHub. He gave a class and showed this trick, and I think this version is somewhat modified from someone else's, and uh, I'm by no means the I didn't come up with this. So all credit goes to people who are a lot smarter than me and came up with this trick. But I did modify this a little bit to uh, allow copying the endpoints out. And really all this is just a bookmark with a JavaScript function in it. So when I click on it, uh, takes just a second, but it goes and looks at the client side JavaScript and it pulls out all of the endpoints that it finds. And you can scroll down and see, okay, it found 31 endpoints, um, found a parameter, found a couple of JavaScript files. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy these endpoints out and close out of this. And then I'm going to come back over to my proxy in the Automate tab, and I'm going to set a placeholder at the path. Okay? And I'm going to go to Simple List, and I'm going to paste that list of endpoints into this this box right here, and come over to preprocessors. And in this case, I'm going to get rid of this active preprocessor to URL encode, because what it does is it URL encodes these forward slashes, and when it URL encodes this leading forward slash, it messes up the request. So the easiest way to do this is just to turn that off. If you're on Burp Suite, you can do the same thing by going into your payloads tab and unchecking the box that says URL encode special characters, and it'll accomplish the same thing. I'm also going to go into settings, and you don't really need to do this, but it's a little bit easier if it goes in order. I'm just going to set the number of workers. So this is basically like the number of concurrent requests in Burp, to 1, and I'm going to put a slight delay between requests. Um, like I said, it's not really necessary, but it does help visualize just a little bit, makes it a little bit easier to see. So now, after we kick off that scan, we can just look at the response status code. And if we look at these admin endpoints, you can see that we're still getting a 200 status code, and we're still getting data back. Um, Remember that we looked at the auth token, and we have the role of user. So realistically, we shouldn't be able to access any of this data or any of this functionality. And if we come up to this API slash admin slash flag endpoint, you can see that it's unprotected, and we do in fact get the flag here. Um, and that's the biggest takeaway, is that this vulnerability occurs because there's no access control in place to ensure that the user making the request actually has permission to view that data or uh, perform whatever functionality is on this endpoint. So if there's sensitive data on one of these admin endpoints, or sensitive functionality that could potentially um, harm the company, change the way the app functions, whatever the case is, uh, the fact that a low privileged user is able to access what should be behind some form of access control is a significant vulnerability, and one that's good to report. But like I said, it's very straightforward, and it's not difficult, but it's one that is easy to overlook or forget to test. So I really like this lab, because even though it was a very easy lab, it reinforces that uh, good practice of checking uh, all the admin functionality and all the admin endpoints that you can find, to determine if there are any access control issues that a low privileged user may be able to exploit to elevate their privileges or gain access to information that they should not have access to. So yeah, that was this lab, and that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.